Oh, whoa. Sorry, hold on.
Or the countdown
You know-
again.
Do it again. The After Dark show. we have our first timer from the audience, Joanne. What's up?
Woo!
Nice to
Hey!
see you.
It's
Welcome
so
back,
good to see you.
Stanley.
Thank you. And hello, Joanne.
Hey, Stanley.
How was your night off from the salon?
It was busy, but you know what? It was actually good. I got a lot done.
Well, we missed you. We were thankful to have you in the audience, though.
Absolutely. Y'all are my people.
That was so much fun last night. Thank you for thanks for letting me come on and be chaotic.
It was long overdue. We hadn't talked about the Kelvin movies, and we had some time to kill before Prodigy next week.
Right on. Hey, Marcelo.
Marcelo!
Hey, guys.
The
Hey,
fourth
guys, sorry I'm late.
This year. You're not late. Well, you are, because you're always like super early. Like if I send Marcel the link 2 hours in advance, he'll be in the thing 2 hours in advance.
But to clarify, I think you'll forgive me why I was late. I was hanging out with a friend of ours.
Oh, okay. So you're hanging out with Ruben?
Yeah, I was hanging out with Ruben.
Oh, okay. How do you hang out with him? Because he lives in Miami. And oh no, I'm just kidding. I know. I'm teasing.
Yeah.
I hang out with people online. Like right now, we're hanging.
Yeah, we're hanging out.
Tell Ruben I say hey.
All right.
I think he's still mad at me because I
what are you doing? What did you do
in our
this
group
time?
In our group chat? He was like sassy about ensemble casts.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that conversation. I had to mute that one.
Stanley, you're not the only one.
I was working, and I was working, and I had my headphones in, and all I could hear is you guys shouting about ensemble stuff.
We weren't even chatting; we were typing, but it was like very heated typing.
Since I have my headphones in, I have it set up so I get notifications from Twitter, and my assistant reads me the notifications from any groups that I'm in. So every couple minutes I would have her chime in going, the Mosquito Network says da 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 da. And then I just read off the tweets. I'm like, what are you people talking about? Stop fighting.
Well, tonight we're not talking about Star Trek or ensemble casts. We're talking about the Acolyte. Tonight's show is completely dedicated to the Acolyte. I have a lot of questions. Oh wait, I love that. Fine, we'll talk about Star Trek. Of course.
So wait a minute.
Force of habit.
I'm here to talk about Phase 2.
But one of the coolest things, we have an opportunity tonight. Our friend Joanne Robertson is here. Hello, Joanne. I don't know if I'm supposed to say your last name. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I think it's okay. It's on X that way, so it's like
it is on X.
And you're kind of newish to Star Wars. What's the like?
So I've definitely seen all of the movies, right? But probably the recent ones, like only once, and I'm very on the margin. I say I'm a tourist, right, in the Star Wars universe. Like, it's just not my universe. I'm a Trek girl, right? But so I don't know any of the deep lore. I don't get this recent kind of rules about Sith and the timeline. Like, none of that resonates with me. I've seen none of the shows, right? This is the first, I did see Clone Wars, the animated one.
The whole thing, you saw all of it?
No, I didn't see all of it.
Like maybe here and there. It's a big show, so
yeah. But other than that, this is like the first kind of spin-off that I've seen.
Okay, cool. Well, we're here to answer all your Star Wars questions. So as we go talking about the Acolyte, if you have any Star Wars questions, I think between the three of us and anyone who might show up in the audience, by the way, say hello in the chat if you like. There's a few folks watching, so cool. There's Ruben, the notorious Ruben. I'm glad you're in the chat, Ruben. I hope you stick around because you have a lot of Star Wars knowledge. And I did send the link out to folks. So if you want to come on and be a screen person, you're welcome to as well. But I suspect you're playing video games right now. So
Let him enjoy his games, Sohail.
so you can just keep us on in the background as your audio if you want to, and see if we get everything right or not.
I'm having myself right now. No, I'm putting it away.
So just to tell you, Joanne, I've seen everything Star Wars except I'm missing I've only seen the first season of the show called Rebels. I've only seen a little bit of the Bad Batch, and other than that, I think I've seen everything.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what either of those are.
I've seen all of the live action stuff. I tend to watch the live action stuff as it airs. I think I've seen most of Clone Wars. I've seen the first season of Rebels. This is not accurate, but Joanne, just for context, Rebels is basically Clone Wars after the first set of 3 movies.
Okay.
Not that is a gross misstatement, but that's the timeline, and it's telling those kinds of stories, like what's going on with the rebels, or at least that one rebel cell. I've seen, I think, bits and pieces of. There's a cartoon called Resistance?
Yeah, the Resistance or Resistance.
And I don't recall when that takes place.
That takes place
after the
Return of the Jedi.
After
post Return of the Jedi.
But before Mandalorian, probably.
I don't know because I think actually a character from Rebels showed up on Mando, so they're probably
they're about the same time.
Around the same time or something like that. Yeah.
That's the one with Pedro, right? Pascal?
That's it.
Yeah, I know that, right?
Yeah. You know the important details. Yeah. Most of like all of the live action stuff and some of the animated.
I also have not finished the Resistance. I forgot to mention that. So that's another of my blind spots. What about you, Marcel? What's your Star Wars wow. Your Star Wars like watch alongness? How much have you seen? What have you seen? I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, I've seen all the feature films. I've seen all of the Disney TV shows. I've seen first season of the Bad Batch, a little bit of Clone Wars, and a little bit of Rebels as well. I haven't seen the Star Wars shorts that they just recently did. Or I don't even know if they're shorts. They're like what if stories for Star Wars. I don't know if any of you have seen those.
I've seen,
I haven't seen those.
There are those. I forgot about those. I mean, I've watched them. But there's so much. There's a lot.
Yeah, I don't love Star Wars the way I do Star Trek, but I enjoy it. I mean, I grew up with it, so it's something that it's a part of me in a way, which is funny.
Yeah. It's a part of me. I feel that vibe too because I'm one of those kids that I think for me it was after Return of the Jedi. I think Return of the Jedi was like the first Star Wars movie that came out, like where I was like, oh wow, and I got to go see it and stuff like the other. Oh yeah, Father says it's the other Star franchise. That's
the other Star franchise.
Yeah, I mean, all that you need to know about me is that every time that I'm talking about Star Wars, I always say Star Trek first. Instead of saying Star Wars, I say Star Trek first. I have Star Trek on the brain. Every time I want to say Star Wars, I don't say that. I say Star Trek instead of Star Wars.
I like them both equally. I'm one of those people. I think that Star Wars fulfills something in me that Star Trek doesn't really like touch on, the magic aspect of it, like that kind of thing. It's like I really enjoy the space wizards, so that's the aspect of it. And I think it's funny that I think it's funny that both shows kind of take things from each other. Like, I think there's times where Star Trek sometimes resembles Star Wars, but And recently times where Star Wars resembles Star Trek a little bit, which is kind of cool.
Mhm.
Also, I think it's funny, other reviewers that I've like listened to, they're now calling extras that get killed off red shirts.
Red
Like they're calling,
shirts.
yeah, they're
I
calling them
was so
red shirts.
confused. I saw
Yeah, and I was like,
reviews
yo, like what? Like,
talking about red shirts, and I went, and I thought I was watching the wrong podcast, right?
it was a little off-putting for me too. I was like, hey, they're bantha fodder, but bantha fodder is what they truly are.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best movie experiences that I've ever had in my life is going to see Star Wars: The Force Awakens on opening night, with a packed house, and in the front of the theater, being surrounded by like 1,500 strangers, bawling my eyes out reading the opening crawl of the movie. Yeah, it was just like, it was amazing.
Do you have a lightsaber?
No, I didn't get a lightsaber. I was late, so I didn't get a chance to get one.
I used to have several. I've made a lightsaber duel video too. I'll try to find it to show it to you.
No, and also the fact that The Force Awakens was directed by my favorite writer director working today. So I was like, that's another big thing for me. It's like, oh my God, JJ's doing Star Wars. Holy shit.
So okay, let's get to the Acolyte. You guys are all caught up, so that's why you're on this panel, which is very cool. I guess I'll open by saying I'm really enjoying it. I don't understand half of the issues that folks are having with it. There's like a lot of folks out there, and that's like getting review bombed and all this stuff. And like a lot of the reviewers that usually they're like not even that extreme, like that are more kind of, I think, sensible or like informed or intelligent reviewers are having a hard time with the show. So I'm listening and like kind of trying to see it myself. But personally, as a Star Wars fan, I love it. I think the Acolyte's fabulous. I think it's I'm excited to see how it's going to end this first season. But so far, I only see it building upon lore, and basically I don't know a lot about the expanded universe of Star Wars, like the comics, the books, and like, all that stuff. But my understanding is that this team, Leslie Headland, who's a big fan of that stuff, is actually bringing in stuff from those works into canon, if you will. And just to remind everyone, once it's on the screen, if it has the official title Star Wars, it is now canon. So it's your job to make it work with everything else, because it's officially what Star Wars is saying is happening. So instead of like trying to like think of ways that it's breaking something, why not think of ways that you can mend it and make it work, which is what Tim Gunn would say, make it work. Where's Andre?
Carry on.
But that's just so that's my opinion. Marcelo, why don't you go next, and then Stanley, and then Joanne, tell us your impressions of the Acolyte. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't understand why everybody is so up in a tizzy about the Acolyte. Sure, there's things that I'm like, I don't know if you guys really want to do that, but then again, it's a fun show. I really like the main character, and I like the villain of the piece, at least one of the villains. And I think it's a very, very interesting way to look at Star Wars, because me, for a long time, I've wanted a series that shows the not so pretty side of Star Wars. And I really like the way the Jedi have been painted in this series as not so outstanding citizens. I like the fact that in this series the Jedi are basically dicks. like I'm so happy. It's like, you made the Jedi villains great.
They're cops.
I love that. They're cops. Oh, thank you. They're cops. I love that aspect and that quirk of the show, and exploring the Jedi's the Jedi's morality and the Jedi organization is just fascinating to me. I will say though, and this is more of a Disney thing. I don't like the short. I don't like the short episodes. So that would be my only complaint. But that seems to be a problem with Star Trek on Disney Plus for the most part.
Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Sorry, I said sorry. Star Wars. See, I told you guys I would do it. I said I would, and I just did. Proof.
You guys, I'm already a little bit what's the cross baited. So just keep me organized if you feel like I should be.
I mean, you're still actually in people, so I think
you're not that faded. Yeah.
Well, I'm headed in that direction. So, Stanley.
I'm really enjoying the show. I just to quickly address the negative stuff and maybe get past it. It feels very. I will bring in the other Star franchise. It does feel very Discovery, where there are some legitimate criticisms that are getting drowned out by the racist assholes who have like the most asinine takes. Like I feel pretty good about my social media because I don't see these takes. I see people referencing them rather than seeing it directly, luckily. But like people complaining about shit that has been in Star Wars, like quote fire in space. Like we've seen fire coming out of ships since the dawn of this franchise. Like people are grasping at straws to complain about some bullshit. And like there are legitimate criticisms of this show, I'm sure, but fire in space, the guy's age, like who gives a fuck? Like people lie about their age all the goddamn time. I'm 24.
I too am 24.
Yes.
I'm 28.
Yeah.
I too am 24. We're all 24.
A bunch of 24-year-old Star Wars fans talking on the internet that our great grandparents created. Yeah, it's just silly to me, the things that people are choosing to care about, and it's clearly cover for other issues. Like there are some pretty shitty YouTubers in the Star Wars verse, and it's a real bummer because I think it takes away from. I mean, people are going to grift. Like I forget what his name is, the really infamous one. Like he refuses to see anything good in newer Star Wars shows because he makes his money being angry about Star Wars and makes shit up. And so I hate how much airspace we give it. And here I am talking about it, but it just frustrates me to the nth degree. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the show. I think one criticism that I've had of the Star Wars shows is they do tend to be very slow burn. An entire episode will just be walking to the ship. But there's some really good and interesting character moments in there. And then when we do get action sequences, it's really cool. Like this last episode had, I think, probably my favorite lightsaber fight in the franchise. It was really fucking cool. Different uses. The reveal of Manny as the villain. The second I saw those arms, I was like, because my guess was either him or their birthing mother, because I don't think we saw her body in the aftermath, and I'm wondering if that's another reveal that we're gonna get in future episodes. So what they're showing us is cool. I'm loving that the layering of the Jedi Council. Like there's a High Council, there's this committee. That other silly complaint that they said in the movie that the Sith had been extinct, and like that whole fucking movie was about how the Jedi were wrong about that.
I know that one gets me so much because people, it's like, no, the point was that, they were wrong.
Or in this episode, how did
they're
all
doubling down? They're just
nonsense
doubling down.
exist?
I think it's proving that Ki-Adi-Mundi is a part of the problem.
It's an inside job. Yeah, like how did all of those Jedi not detect the Sith? I'm like, how did all those Jedi let the Chancellor take all that power?
Those are not. Yeah, those are disingenuous, genuine sort of critiques. But there are, as you said, as both
lesbian witches. Like... I'm here for it. It's amazing. The Jedi are fucked. They like.
Yeah.
The cops coming in and saying we get to take your children is fucked, and I'm here for that conversation. I'm liking the
good. I like that
they're doing.
Joanne.
Yeah. I know. So I really, again, for this being kind of my first show, I really like it. It is to me, it feels very different from what I experienced in the movies. Because the Star Wars universe kind of for me has been, it's very binary, it's like good and evil, light and dark. And what's different about this show is that it's also been it's very grounded in fantasy, right? Yeah, just shit is just made up. But this show has a lot of nuance, right? And particularly that whole episode 3 with the witches, and when she said, this isn't about, evil or whatever. This is about power and who gets to wield it. And that is a nuance that I have not experienced in this universe before, right? That's actually very Trek, right? Talking about things that are grounded in kind of human relationship and morality. And so I find that very, very compelling. I do love, and I agree with you, Stan, that fight in this last episode was beautiful, where I don't get into the action in Star Trek. Ships don't excite me that much, but I love the fights with the Jedi and whoever. They're very beautiful. They're choreographed. It's elegant. It's skill and motion and harmony and science. It all kind of comes together in a really beautiful way. So I'm fascinated by that. But they really are taking on these, like I said, these nuanced issues about, what it means to be, an agent of change in the world and chaos and chaotic good and all of that. I find it fascinating. I find it thematically fascinating, even if I don't, kind of get some of the deep cuts, right? Yeah.
No, it's very cool. And I think you nailed it with what the show's been kind of, I think, trying to do, or like, I dig all that stuff, and I think it's different. It's a little different from other Star Wars, but it's also very familiar to me. Like I think the High Republic, we've seen it in video games, right? Like, is that where we've seen this time period before? Do you guys play any of the video games?
Mm-hmm. I haven't in a while, but Star Wars Battlefront 2, I've played almost every day for years.
This is to answer one of your questions from Twitter from earlier. This takes place like around 100 years, like somewhere like before the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Maybe even less time than that, because now folks are starting to speculate that at some point in this, if the show gets a second season, or we don't know, we don't know the ending yet. Nope. But
yeah,
depending who we meet, who else we meet, or depending
this
who we
show
may
is
have
not
met.
going to get a second series. I guarantee you.
I think it is.
Everyone in the show is going to die because no, I'm serious. No, I'm sorry for jumping on you there.
Oh, no.
Cap.
I kind of think you're right, but I want to hear why you think so.
because like in this episode, basically it was the writers telling you, okay, we realize that what we're talking about and the things that we are discussing kind of mess with kind of mess with the canon that was already established in previous Star Wars and Star Wars yet to come. So how can we talk about something that nobody in the universe is supposed to know? How can we do that? And the easy way to do that is to hold up.
Okay.
Is to do that to a point. And then how do you cover that up? Kill everyone.
I do agree that
check this out.
I do agree with you. Like, if they are the Sith, then no one that we know is safe.
Yeah. No, so like, no. If they look, if it truly is the Sith, and that's the answer, the writers only have one thing to do to hide it all. They have to kill everyone. And I'm like, I like that. Kill everyone. Why not?
Because, what do you guys think? Is he a Sith? Is this and if he's a Sith, then he has to be the apprentice of either Darth Tenebris or Darth Plagueis.
So see, explain this, because people are arguing and saying he's not a Sith because he doesn't follow the rule of two. I'm like, what is that?
Well, all we know right now about this guy is that he himself identifies as nothing. Like, he doesn't have but he said to kind of like give a frame of reference to Soul, he said, "You would probably call me Sith." And he says it in a way like, like matter of fact, not like not revealing.
This is
like,
what you would call me, but it's not. That's not
what I am.
It's not what I am. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say he's. I don't know. I'm getting the strong hint that he's not going to interfere with the Jedi, the Sith returning.
Yeah.
I think that, I think that, but I don't know what he's going to be, because there is a clue that a couple folks have caught on to. I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but you do hear the same theme, Kylo Ren's theme, playing at the very end when he heals Osha.
That's that good-looking guy from the movie, right?
Kylo, Adam Driver.
Yeah. Okay.
They've been doing a really good job with these like hot villains. I'm having a hard time.
I love that too. That the villains are all hot. Like, that's so smart.
I want to be your acolyte. But anyways, you guys have to look up Jacinto reading thirsty tweets. It's the best thing ever. Like, he's aware of people appreciating his physique.
No. But anyway, connected to the witches. Like,
look, this is what I was talking about, keeping me on track. What were we talking about?
I personally believe he is a individual who doesn't follow a particular order or a particular code, but I think the reason that he doesn't follow that particular order or particular code is because he doesn't have a worthy apprentice yet. He thought that he found it in May, but May is like the most wishy-washy person ever, which is a whole nother story for another time. But I think if this individual could find a worthy apprentice to train and to learn everything that he has to teach, he would consider himself a Sith Lord. Mm-hmm. Just because he breaks all the rules, that doesn't mean anything. Because the Sith are the bad guys. They could do whatever they want.
And who told us these rules? The Jedi, who we've seen be wrong multiple times.
They lie, right?
Shows.
So wait, so here's the thing. Like, okay, I never thought of it this way, but this show and also a lot of other kind of things that, like, ever since basically Revenge of the Sith, and so forth, like, the prequels basically kind of like opened my eyes up to this idea of the Jedi being this kind of like more oppressive kind of group or organization. I hadn't thought of it that way before, but like, so what happened in lore, from my understanding, is that at one point there was like a Sith empire, and the Jedi helped this republic, which is like 20 it's insane. It's like 20,000 years old. Can you imagine like a single republic that's that long lived? But so the Jedi have basically been aligned with this republic for almost that long, and they overthrew the Sith Empire, and so they thought that the Sith were extinct, meaning I guess the republic had outlawed Sith practices, and also associating with or aligning yourself with Sith, right? So that's why they were thought to be extinct. But obviously, we know they were just in hiding the whole time, like, and following this rule of two, and so on and so forth. So basically, they've been for this like 20,000 years of non-Sith of Sith extinction, according to the arrogant Jedi, which that can't possibly be true. There's got to be acolytes, as you would call them, in the universe, like in the galaxy somewhere, like scattered around. You can't possibly squash out an idea completely, right? That's the whole point. So this whole time the Sith have been right under their nose, and I think that's what this show is highlighting, is that like it's like, oh, this is the analogy right here, like it is kind of like the algorithm and curating your kind of like experience, like in many ways that's very good, but in other ways you're also creating like a kind of shell or a universe, or like you only are going to see things that like suit that algorithm. And that's kind of what the Republic has done, and the Jedi, like they don't see it,
they don't see outside their bubble, right?
Yeah, they're like, Sith, like what?
Which is crazy.
There's no such thing. Are you kidding? Yeah, it's like crazy. So it is kind of it's oddly relevant to today, but it also does speak to what we already know.
You want me to believe just like this evidence? Oh. I have a firm belief in the opposite being true.
Well, it's crazy too, because I've always understood, I think, like there has to be like balance in the Force or whatever, right? So that there's always this push and pull of people who practice differently. I'll say I'm resisting kind of the good and evil kind of binary, right? But morally vicious, morally virtuous, whatever that sort of thing is. So it's kind of silly to think that there wouldn't always be an opposing force, regardless of what you think about it. So I was like, is this a plot hole, or is this where the universe
the Jedi and Star Command are very similar in their stupidity. It's required for the plot in a lot of moments. And it can be frustrating. Like what one of my frustrations with both franchises is quite often the plot relies on not our heroes, but the organization our heroes defend to their dying day being incredibly stupid. Like just nuts.
It seems to me in universe, Anakin's role as the chosen one is not what we've all kind of thought. Like the prophecy has always been that the chosen one will bring balance to the Force. Joanne's absolutely right. There is no balance in the Force. There's only 2 Sith allowed to be around, basically, right? Like technically, and then there's like thousands of Jedi. That's definitely not a balance.
That's not balance.
That's not balance. You're 100% right. And so Anakin, as the chosen one, basically left it down to 2 Jedi and 2 Sith, which is balance in the Force. The 2 Jedi were arguably Luke and Leia. And you had Darth Vader and the Emperor. That was like the last 2 in Return of the Jedi, right? Like, am I getting that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that, like, Anakin did in fact fulfill the prophecy, and then afterwards, once he fulfilled the prophecy and brought balance to the Force, prophecy's over, and then he kills the Emperor and himself, and now the Force is out of balance again, if you think about it, because now you just have Luke and Leia, and they're both on the light side of the Force. And I think it's interesting that you can kind of call the movies after, from like a higher level Force perspective, the subsequent films are about the Force coming back into balance, because like you have Luke and Leia, but then
slumber.
Yeah, exactly. And like also you have like Kylo Ren. He's an interesting character, and he's not light, he's not dark, he doesn't think of himself as a Sith. So I think, I don't know, I think they might be setting up this guy as being the first Knight of the Ren or whatever is something that I would be guessing. This hot.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like the second that it was revealed that there were twins, I was like, oh, they're gonna do a swap. Like we're gonna get a Star Wars Parent Trap, and I'm here for it. It'll be interesting to see when May, like, is she gonna reveal herself right away? Like she just needed to get on the ship to get to Saul.
I think the little guy Basil, he's gonna like
reveal
Soul.
Basil's gonna, but I think Saul already knows. Like I think Saul already sensed.
He might already sense it.
Yeah,
there's a little evidence
at the end, and he was like, whatever. And she was like, who? And he stopped, and he didn't call her by name. He's like, your sister.
Your sister.
You know? Yeah. Like I know this isn't you, right?
Yeah. Do you feel like everybody is gonna die though? I think everybody's like.
I do.
Something that's pretty.
Everyone's going to die.
Something that's
in the trailer.
About
Stanley, go.
Something that sucks about IMDb is like you'll get the episode count for certain actors, for the actors in the show, and like even the actor who plays Man Osha is not in all 8 episodes. So it's like, okay.
Interesting.
I mean, and like it's not always accurate, but like,
well, that makes sense with what we've seen so far, right? Were they in the flashback episode at all?
Oh, that might have been it.
Oh. Were they?
That was entirely a flashback.
Entirely flashback, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they weren't in the episode.
Episode 3, yeah.
Saul is in 5 episodes, Yord 4. Mother and Saya is going to be in more episodes because she's apparently in 4.
There's definitely going to be more flashbacks because in the trailer we've seen scenes that haven't shown up yet.
Yeah, but Danny is only in 3 episodes, and we've already seen him in 2. So
I need him to be in
kill him in the episode.
I need him to be in so much more.
Yeah,
can Manny be in? Can Manny be in like Star Trek? And
I'm super excited to see them with each other's master and like the conversations.
My master.
Okay.
Push the button. No.
I don't have the button. You have to just like shave me.
I have been lusting after that man since The Good Place. Like
I had no idea who he was until this show.
He was so good in The Good Place. Like it is harder than people realize to play dumb. And he plays one of the best dumb characters in all of television history.
That's funny. He's so I noticed him right away in the episode that he appears with where he's the apothecary. He stands out right away, and like I did suspect that he was the master even back then, but I didn't really believe it, and that's how good he is. Because like I was like, no, they're doing that on purpose to throw me off. Like this guy is definitely. He's definitely dumb and innocent and adorable, and I was like, that's not. He's like a hench person for sure. Yeah. We're gonna meet the master like later or whatever. So in the reveal, I was actually a little bit like surprised because I kind of was thinking it was gonna be something else.
Yeah,
now I'm like totally thrown off though because he doesn't fit with my understanding of like the dark force. If he's a Sith, he doesn't fit with my understanding of who's supposed to be around this time period. Like so, but Darth Plagueis did have a lot of acolytes himself or apprentices, like before Palpatine. What if he is Sheev Palpatine? What if he's like hot young Sheev Palpatine, and this show's actually not as far back as 100 years? It's probably
oh my god! If they do that, if they do that, the Star Wars brethren,
I would like to have
the world.
I would like a shirt that
burn
says
down the world.
I would like a shirt that says Sheev fucks if it is Sheev.
Oh my God.
I've got a sheave for Manny. anytime he needs it.
Too funny. Too funny.
You can sheave my Palpatine anytime you.
I don't like that one.
Joanne, if nothing, you
Of course. Come to After Dark and get sex puns. Woo!
I'm calling him Darth Seggzie.
Darth
Seggzie.
Seggzie. I can support that name.
For now, he's Darth Seggzie.
But I'm like, I want to see what happened. Why everybody says he can't be related to the witches? Why not?
Well, there's interestingly some stuff going on there because who did save May? How did May escape her fate? Like,
and he seems to know
how did May
about
end up
day
with this guy?
That event, those events.
Yeah, and that event. Yeah, he seems to like. I don't know if he's like an eyewitness or he just knows from being with May. Like,
I need to rewatch that because when I watched it, I was like, "Wait, did Saul save May?"
Yes. No, Saul saved. Saul thought he saved only Osha.
Saul saved Osha.
But when I watched it, from where I understood each of them to be, it looked like May was the one that got saved. But like I know because of the tattoo and whatever, but I started to wonder what if the trauma made them like believe that they were the other or something like that. But that's clearly not what's happening. But the shot was confusing.
There was a really interesting theory for a little while, which I think has been safely debunked by the show, is that Osha was projecting May through the Force, similar to how Luke projected himself across like whatever distance. And it was because of the trauma of losing her twin that she created a Force version of the twin. But that got disproved because they're definitely two different people. Like they're been in the same place now and they're fighting each other and like, you know, all that. But I mean, I don't know. It might still be, there's a chance it could still be that, but I doubt it. That's true.
I also love that we got Carrie-Anne Moss to be in the show for just 2 episodes.
I think we're gonna see her again, and we're gonna see
that pissed me off so much.
I think we're gonna see the other Jedi. What was his name? Tobin. No, that's Tobin's from his. It's the same actor from
Game of Thrones,
right? Yeah. But with Torvin, Master Torvin. I think it's funny that they named it so close to Tobin.
Yeah, he was Toman.
Or Toman. He's Toman. That's right.
Oh yeah, he was the younger creepy child.
Isn't he the one that like
the one that jumped out the window?
Yeah,
right?
That's I think that's the one. Yeah.
Why did he do that? Because his wife was killed in the explosion.
Yeah, in the his mom blew up the set, and
he was like 12.
I don't know. He was young.
I felt so gypped.
He did not look like an old man
by the
in those scenes when he's meditating. Sorry, God, what were you gypped by?
I felt so gypped by the pilot of the show. Carrie-Anne Moss shows up for 2 seconds and then takes. Oh my God!
Is that the first one that got killed?
Yeah. I wanted
that's.
I wanted to.
That's Trinity from the Matrix.
I swear I wanted to throw something on my TV. I was like, "What the hell is this? You people promoted the show with Trinity, and you make her take a dirt nap."
They could do a whole show. They could do a whole spin-off show or like a mini series with all of these Jedi, and we can see like what their backstories are and like what they did in between the events of. You know that like I'm dying to know like what happened because we're gonna see another perspective of that night either next episode or soon. I think you know what might be cool like in the next episode in the trailer there's like spaceship chases that we haven't seen yet and it's both the Jedi starfighter or the Jedi you know like transport or whatever it is and the Sith ship that May and Darth Seggzie came in on. So there's probably a chase scene, and it'd be interesting if like we get flashbacks of like if Darth Seggzie is trying to like convince Osha or tell her the truth from his perspective or his point of view, or whatever May thinks the truth is, or whatever. And he's like trying to convey that to Osha, when it was Soul who wanted to tell Osha, because Soul's been alluding to that. He's been like, I'll explain everything, because there's definitely something he hasn't been telling Osha. And in this episode, May's like, they've brainwashed you, and like it seems like that's actually true. It seems like there is something that they've been keeping from Osha this whole time, based on how Soul has been acting.
Master the Jedi Soul. Are trash. You can't have any. I understand controlling attachments and like whatever, but like there have been lines of like, you have to let go of your grief. Like, I'm sorry. Her family was brutally murdered, she thinks, by her sister who started this fire because she wanted to be a Jedi. That's not something you can just let go. The Jedi expectations of their people are insane, and that is why they take them as children. They are grooming children. I don't want to go full TikTok, but they are grooming these children.
You people. That sounds funny, but Stanley's right on the mark. That's what they do. They get him young.
They didn't want to train Anakin because he was too old. He could see their bullshit.
Yeah, they could see. Yeah,
they did. Interestingly, the Jedi of this time did take Osha on, and I don't know how much she like learned, because she doesn't seem to have. It's like she doesn't seem to be. Yeah. She quit, and she doesn't seem to be able to like move objects or anything like that. She tried. Remember, she was like trying to get Pip. Yeah. And I feel so bad for Pip, and I love that scene where she's like, "I love you, Pip," and then she sticks it in Darth Thirst Trap's literally in his thirst trap, because those shoulder blades are also a trap for thirst.
But did she quit, or did they put her out?
Oh my God!
I got the sense that she quit the Jedi.
She quit.
She quit the Jedi.
It wasn't completely clear, but I got that.
Because the only reason I ask is because that scene when she was saying goodbye to what's it, Janica, Genesis?
Oh, Jackie.
Jackie.
You know the
Jackie. I like that
80s band Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis. So when she was, saying goodbye / flirting with Genesis.
I'm sorry, that was
and
Collins.
And they were talking or whatever, and then at some point, or Saul came over, or I don't know if Genesis said it to her or whatever, and they were like, "You want me to rejoin the Jedi?" And
she got excited.
She got very excited.
That was so sad. She did. Like Osha, she was like,
yes.
"Oh, yeah, it's true." And then he was like, temporary. He's like, sort of.
Kind of, for a minute.
There's something weird going on with Osha.
There's something weird, but I also think that moment of ambition really is what Darth Seggzie is going to use to kind of turn her, because that's ambition, right?
I don't want Osha to turn to the dark side. I have such an attachment to her.
Side. She's going to turn.
No,
she's gonna turn. It's gonna be terrible.
Like like I said, she'll turn, she'll cry, and then she'll die. So yeah, she'll turn, she'll cry.
They're gonna bring Saul and Kamir together and be a Force family.
When Kamir.
Take that, white straighties.
I know.
This is Star Wars now.
When Darth snapped my neck sexually, please.
Oh my God.
When he.
I can't do this. It's like...
Listen, if that's how I go, I'm going with a... That was brutal. Like
that was brutal.
Like all those other
Darth
fuck off, but to kill both Genesis and in one episode.
Yeah.
I mean, when
And
Darth,
I've never seen people die like that in Star Wars. I was like,
That
whoa.
was-
it was crazy.
That
It
was
a good.
great. I mean,
There were like there were others have died like kind of brutally, but off screen. I feel like there's been like heads cut off, but it's always off screen. I don't know, or like from a distance or whatever.
Or from a distance.
Yeah.
Or I don't, that
But
was
yeah.
wild to me.
I wasn't expecting it. I definitely didn't expect these two characters to be killed. I was very surprised. Like this character is serious. The character is very serious. I'm not serious about my feelings because I'm in love with the man who plays the character. It's physique, and therefore it's hard. Anyways, Darth crush me.
Is very serious.
Darth, crush me with your arms.
Darth choke me out is very, is very serious.
Oh my god, he's gonna be Darth. All those things. Anyway, but it is crazy. The battles are beautiful, and they even like do all the Star Wars tropes. Like there's banter. He gets into people's heads. Like there's a lot of cool Star Wars traditions, if you will, that they fulfill.
That's the other thing that makes me think they're connected, because when Yor was telling Alsha he gets in your head and stays there, her response was, my mother could do that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Do you think, how old is Darth Hot? I'm just calling him Darth Hot now.
30s.
How old? Like in his 30s or something like that?
30s.
Do you think he's among the people in those earlier flashbacks?
I do.
Like,
I think he's connected.
But is it all women? Was it all women, or is that
I think that's the presumption, but
right?
Planet, yes.
I don't know that that's. I'm like, he could be a warlock.
He could be a warlock.
I could see him being trained by Jedi in the past too.
Yeah.
I think, like when he says you don't remember me, he's not talking to Soul about just recently, like when he was pretending to be.
That's gonna be not a payoff if it was just about in the apothecary shop.
Yeah, if it was just about that one moment, that would be that would be a wasted cool line.
Yeah.
No, I think the most likely answer to that question, like what's his whole backstory, is I think that he was trained by the Jedi. I think I don't think that he's connected to the witches at all. I think he was trained by the Jedi.
But then what happened to him? What do you think?
I don't know, but we're gonna find out.
I mean, what kind of records do they keep? They don't know.
They have extensive records.
No, well, I mean, look.
Where's the smear data? Where's Zora when you need her?
They're more concerned about how it would look that a Jedi was killed than actually announcing, like, "Hey, be on the lookout for this bitch. She's killing Jedi." Like, come on. Terrible.
Also, but
Jedi,
but also the Jedi as an organization, there's some shady motherfuckers. So if they do know what happened to this kid, or if he was trained, or if he was kicked out, like Stan said, they're not going to tell anybody. Yeah. They have no reason to tell anybody.
Started. Like the Green Lady was like, "Don't tell the council."
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's just a few bad apples. Let's not make a thing of it.
And furthermore, it's embarrassing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's not a path that they're going to go publicly, at least with.
I think the Jedi overall are good. I just think that there's like a lot of the council or something somewhere in the Jedi Order. It went wrong because they stuck too much to kind of like a hard line of some sort. The Jedi seem looser in this era or in this time. It's interesting that Yoda's around there somewhere. We've already seen Ki-Adi-Mundi, so that means definitely like Yoda's somewhere around, and it's possible that like one of those little kids that was in the beginning that Master Soul was training could have been Mace Windu even. which is cool. So there's a lot of possibilities in this show, depending on where it takes place, of what's going on. And I don't want it to be just one season. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I think I really, really think it's gonna be one and done.
Yeah.
Because
I think so too.
like the wall that they have written themselves into and against, they only have one way out. They have to kill everyone. And if they don't, it will be like this. It will be like it'll be they will be jumping through.
Well, the
writing
show's focused
jumping
on the
jacks
dark
to make
side,
it
I
make
feel
sense.
like. It's not, we're not supposed to be attached to the Jedi characters. They're like the antagonists.
Yeah.
Because the show's called The Acolyte, right? So it's supposed to be about
the dark side.
The dark side. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think Leslie Headland
Also-
said as much, if I'm not mistaken,
Mhm.
in an interview.
No, and I think for if they were to do a second season, what could you go? What could you do? Where could you go? And it's like, no, just leave it at one season and be happy with it. Yeah, just go on and make something else.
I mean, obviously, it would be, for me, where they could go is showing.
Right.
I find Palpatine to be a very interesting character personally. I think
please no more Palpatine.
I love Palpatine.
I'm so sick.
So
of
at some
Palpatine.
point,
No
I
more
think the
Palpatine.
show could bring in a young Palpatine, and we could see kind of like how his seeds were sown, and
It's being a senator from Naboo.
a senator from
Naboo.
He's on a housing.
It'll become like a political thriller, like murder thriller.
House of Cards.
Excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me, Senator. I'm just gonna grab my laser sword in the closet and I'm just gonna walk right over and just chop off your head. If I do this right now, I will save the galaxy decades of pain and suffering.
By the way, hello to Arthur and to Andrew in the audience. Nice to see y'all.
Ahoy, hoy.
Thanks for joining us. Ask us questions. We're talking about the Acolyte. Joanne, are you feeling a little bit more like secure in like your understanding of like where all of this takes place and stuff?
So yeah, I think a little bit.
Have you seen The Mandalorian?
I haven't seen The Mandalorian.
Oh, I
recommend that as your next show, or as you're like watching this show in between. If you want a little more Star Wars, action.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I highly recommend The Mandalorian. I still think it's one of the most fabulous things.
The Mandalorian season 1. The Mandalorian season 1 is so mint. Oh, so good.
What's next for Star Wars after the Acolyte?
Mando.
Is it? We're getting more Mandalorian, right?
Yes. We're getting.
So you can catch up on the Mandalorian before the next. There's a movie that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
A movie? A Mandalorian movie?
They're
like
doing
in
it
the theaters, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're doing it. That's real.
Is that going to be the first Star Wars spin-off film? No, we've had Rogue One, and also Solo.
By the way, Rogue One is one of the best movies to come out in Disney Star Wars ever. Because in Rogue One, they did the thing I thought they would never do. They killed off everyone.
That's what you want.
You like that,
Marcelo likes those Shakespearean tragedies.
I know. I like that. No, seriously. Seriously. There he goes. Sohail said it. I like
down for
Shakespearean tragedies.
Yeah,
I'm just not ready to let go. I
I'm
want to
not
know
mad.
more. I also want one more season of Darth. Make me your sub, please.
That's funny. Darth, make me your sub. Good God.
Please.
Good
Daddy,
God,
sir.
man.
Sir.
Oh Lord.
Darth, sir.
I am so lucky that like all of my social media, I just see Star Trek folks, and I don't see any stuff about
50 Shades of
negativity.
Red.
Stuff like that.
I ventured onto a couple of threads, and I was like,
Oh, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Don't do that.
It was far worse than any of the worst
Stuff
Star
that-
Trek threads I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know,
Yes,
that's why
Darth husband.
like that's why
Darth Master husband.
I was just like, Art is being very polite with Darth husband, right?
Yeah, that's why like
Darth tie me to the bed.
I oh my God.
Art is being very gracious with Darth's husband.
Yeah, that's why I our Star Trek community is not perfect, but we're not so bad. But I don't think we're as bad as some sections of the Star Wars universe are.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I think you can just tell like when someone's like genuinely giving a critical point of view versus someone who's just trying to like has an agenda of some sort.
Yeah.
Right.
But whatever. I'm here for this vision of Star Wars. It's cool with me. It doesn't really break anything. It doesn't interfere with my feelings about the Chosen One or like the origin of Anakin or like, it doesn't like change the importance of that
in
my.
Why I think Marcelo is right that everybody's gonna die. I think
everybody's gonna die.
That's why that accounts for the gap. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
You can't explain. Yeah.
Also, I've been of the belief, the whole thing about Anakin being the chosen one and him bringing balance to the Force. I said I agree with that, but everybody says that his contribution to bring balance to the Force was Luke and Leia, and I don't think that's true. I think Anakin being the chosen one refers to the fact that someone deep in the darkest recesses of the universe knew that there was going to be one person that was going to kill the one guy that would bring peace and prosperity to the galaxy for decades. And that one guy was Emperor Palpatine. So I think Anakin was a chosen one because someone somewhere in the universe knew that this kid is going to be able to kill the absolute space Hitler and throw him down a well or throw him down a shaft.
Well, yeah, but that's how he brings balance to the Force, I guess.
Yeah. But I don't know. But that's just me, I guess.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker's a badass. Do you like Luke Skywalker, Joanne?
Oh, I do like Luke Skywalker. Like that was, that was my entry point, kind of into the universe, like all of them. But
yeah, no, like I remember like in grade school coming home and doing my homework on a Friday and then making like the biggest box of popcorn that I could find and getting all together treats and stuff and crap and soda and shit like that. And almost like every Friday I would pop on the VHS special editions of Star Wars that came out in '97. And I would watch those religiously like every week for a really long time.
Yeah, see, I'm old enough. I saw this shit like real time.
Joel in the audience always wins. Joel, also a screen person, sometimes always wins on these ideas. I should have called this the After Dark Side show.
You should have.
Who was your favorite character as a kid, in Star Wars, who's your favorite character now as an adult in Star Wars? I'll go first. Favorite character as a kid was Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 Tide. And favorite character as an adult is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Go ahead, Stan. You go next.
I love that cunt C-3PO.
Of course you do, because you know what, as an as a kid I was like, what is wrong with this guy? But as an adult, I'm like, he's the gayest robot in the galaxy.
Correct about everything. The odds,
yeah,
not going into danger. He's gonna tell you like it is.
God, what a Also,
audience, audience, same question to you. Who's your favorite childhood Star Wars character and your favorite adulthood Star Wars character?
My favorite character as an adult now is Mon Mothma.
Oh, I love it.
Love that bitch. She is Queen of the Senate and now Chancellor. I think she's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite character as a kid would have to been probably Han Solo, because I was such I was a big Raiders of the Lost Ark fan, and I still am a Raiders of the Lost Ark. I still am a Raiders guy. But my favorite character now, in all of Star Wars, would probably have to be Jyn Erso from Rogue One.
Oh,
yeah!
Wow.
Yeah, there's something about the way that character was constructed, the way that she was played. She's my favorite character in all. Yeah.
Commodore Trev, Leia, and Leia. How about you, Joanne?
So it was probably, I was torn, kind of equal parts Han Solo or Luke. And in the recent kind of phenomenon, I like Amidala or Pop. Yeah, Amidala.
Padme.
And what's the girl in the last one?
Rey.
The girl Jedi. Rey.
Yeah, that's
right. I like her.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna get more movies of her, I think.
Oh yes, you are.
I think we're getting more Rey-centered movies, which is gonna be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like Rey too. Joel in the audience says 000 and BT1 in the comics are evil, murderous versions of C-3PO and R2, and they rule so much. Also, Dr. Aphra in the comics are chaos lesbian archaeologists. Oh, okay. Your answer of R2 and Obi-Wan is pretty good. I'd have to agree.
Y'all, I gotta
Bye, Stan.
I don't know what the Star Wars universe of this is, but
wait, promote your
force
stuff.
Be with you. I don't know
your stuff before you go.
May the force be with you.
I know.
Promote your stuff before you go. Oh, okay. I'll promote it.
What did you say?
The Salon.
No. Oh yes, watch Stan. I'll plug it for him. Watch Stan on the Salon on Thursdays. 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. Right? Yeah.
And he says there's a possibility there will be a July the 4th, depending on the vibe.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There might be a July 4th one.
Cool.
Ghost of Gurulatus. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Fun fact: Harrison Ford was a carpenter before he became an actor.
That's
he once built a deck for fake counter-cultural writer John Didion in Malibu. I didn't know that.
Huh.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Also, Harrison Ford's first acting gig was like his real
famed.
first movie.
They meant famed.
Was American Graffiti.
Harrison Ford, that's right.
Yeah.
He goes way back with George Lucas.
Yeah.
I think this is the hottest bad guy character ever if we're doing hottest bad guys in Star Wars.
Okay. If you want to talk about if you want to talk about hot characters, as a as a totally straight guy here, I will say
There's no such thing,
that
Marcella, but that's not. But that's another after dark show.
that's another conversation.
Carry on. Carry
Uh,
on.
uh, uh, I will say that the first time I saw Ray, I was like, "Woo, that woman is hot. I like her." No, but I was like, "Yeah." Ray just like, "Woo."
She is
On the
pretty.
hot. Yeah, she's pretty girl.
What do you think of the character Ray, Marcelo? Like, do you think that folks are unfair to that character, like with all
Oh
the
yeah,
Mary Sue
absolutely,
stuff?
absolutely.
Okay.
I think, I think that unfortunately in the Star Wars community, there's such an undercurrent of old old mother guys in their basement complaining about shit that big. It's like it's so unfortunate, and there's
Mother
such
guys.
like 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 basement dwelling nerds on power trips. It's not good.
It's a good thing I'm
Um,
not in my basement right now.
But like I was saying earlier, it's
But
kind
my
of
mother
built
is in the
into
other room.
it's built into the universe because it's so kind of binary and
right.
so rooted in
Mhm.
fantasy. And so, you know what I mean? That when anything, you know what I mean, counter to that, any sort of nuance,
They're like,
any
oh my
sort of
god,
differentiation comes in, it does upset, right? The kind
right?
of equilibrium in the universe that's been built because it's
Yeah,
just such pure fantasy.
yeah, but
Um
yeah, everything they said about Rhea, like you had people calling her Mary Sue because she could do everything, and I'm like, you guys do know you had this guy called Luke
Luke
Skywalker.
do
Skywalker.
like that's
Yeah,
what
it's the
Jedi
same.
do.
But
They can
Yeah,
do it,
yeah,
right?
that's the
but
problem with that
you
critique
know,
of
you,
the whole
you
Mary
but
Sue critique
you know,
is super
but I was
lame.
like,
But that,
you have Luke Skywalker, but you do just you do know that he can do everything that Ray can do, and you don't complain about him. So why do you complain about her? Like
Luke
that
learns the
doesn't make sense.
Force like way too fast. Like if you think about the time period between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, and he's already a
Mhm.
master. Isn't he a master by
Is he a
Return of the
master
Jedi,
by
right?
Return of the Jedi?
Right? Wasn't he
No,
referred to as Master Luke? No. Oh, that's what
Well,
3PO
that's
called.
C-3PO called him all master.
He was no. I believe he might have. I don't know who would make him a master. I guess maybe Ahsoka. No, he didn't know Ahsoka
no,
yet.
no, you didn't know Ahsoka yet.
I don't
Yeah,
Anyways,
no, but I mean, I really liked Ray and Daisy Ridley's performance as Ray, and just as a character, I thought she was cool. Unfortunately, she was put into a franchise. She was put into a trilogy that had no sense of direction, which was unfortunate. But that's a conversation for another time.
we got some cool
Um,
comments. Ghost says, "I have a thing for Jyn Erso. If someone told me I could have a date that ended with
Jen,
an
there you go.
explosion on a beautiful beach, I'd say yes, please."
Jen,
And our
yeah,
friend
Jen,
Joel's
man.
in the audience. Joel, I hope you're not driving and texting, or feel
don't
free to
call
come
out.
on. I think I sent you the link. If I didn't, let me know. I'll send you the link.
Jen,
Joel says, "I like Ray. Not sure how
yeah.
these characters do these arm wrap sleeves every day, though. That would be, I don't know. I should try those arm wrap sleeves. It's kind of a fun idea."
Yeah, but you know,
Do you
I
think
mean, the
Star
reason
Wars
why
fashion would ever become human fashion? Like, do you think folks would ever get that lax? Like, have you ever seen anything
no,
uptight looking in Star Wars? Everyone's like super, like
no,
Yeah,
the
everything's
top
kind of
button's not done, right?
yeah,
Like
chill
it's
and
like,
it's kind of linen and kind of
yeah,
frilly.
and chill. Everything's
Yeah,
chill.
which is what
Everybody's
I think it's so beautiful when they
everybody.
fight, like with all of that.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
yeah.
that's true. He did look those flailing
It looks
cloth. It
good.
look with those arms.
Everybody.
All you saw were those beautiful arms like
Yeah,
draped against this like flowing. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I'm recreating
But
the
no,
arms.
it's very. I love it.
great.
Like I like the fighting in Star Wars across the board.
Wow, this is my thirst is like unquenchable when it comes to Darth Seggzie.
You are very into Darth Seggzie.
I'm really into him. I think the character's amazing. Also, just something new. We haven't seen quite this kind of character before. Joel also says Star Wars is now armchair theology, argument fodder, and it is weird. That
is true.
Interesting. That is true.
Yeah.
Argument fodder.
Henry thinks that Luke was just a knight. Okay. I can't remember. I don't know why I thought he was a master or he saw himself as a master.
No,
I think Yoda doesn't Yoda say there's like one more thing you got to do.
No,
or you've already faced your dad. I don't remember.
No. At the end of, before Yoda dies, he says, "Your training is complete. No more training will you need.
A Jedi will you be, or whatever, or Jedi."
Right, and he goes, and then Luke goes, "I'm finally a Jedi like my father." And before Yoda dies, he says, "No. You must face your father. You must face your father. Then only then a Jedi will you be." So he doesn't become a Jedi until that last fight with his dad.
Interesting. And his compassion, his love for his dad, is what makes him a Jedi. Yoda knew that shit all along. I think Yoda believed there was good in him.
Yoda was the man, dude.
Do you want, if the Acolyte got another season, or in this season, do you think you could see? Would you like to see Yoda on this show? Like, is that something you would like to see?
Nope.
No. Like, I don't know. I like when, kind of like House of the Dragon. I like these prequels that are kind of self-contained in
isolated.
In their own sort of time period. Like, you can make some correlations and jumps, but I don't want the show.
Oh, that connected. You don't want like those connections. Like, you're down to just have like a story that's like a new thing of its own.
Right.
I like that. I am down too, but I'm a sucker. If Yoda did show up, I'd be like, oh my God, it's Yoda. Holy shiitake mushrooms.
No, I think the nature of this show, I think Yoda to see him would bring a little bit light, but I think the nature of the show is just dark and depressing, and bad stuff. Which I think is great. What was I saying? Where am I going? No, I'm
the one who's cross-faded, Marcel. I don't know what you're doing over there. Is this like a contact high? Do you have a contact high? Is that what's going on?
No. Okay, here's what I was saying. I would not like to see Yoda or any other characters from the movies or whatever.
Well, we've already seen Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah, but but I kind of just.
How do you feel? How do you guys feel about that character, Ki-Adi-Mundi?
To be honest with you, look. To be honest with you, I did a double take. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? And then
can I just do an aside real quick to just say that yes, I agree. Don't fight. He's everyone's husband in spirit. It's because he's so totally Darth polyamorous. Like, he's 100% Darth polyamorous. Like, he has no problem. He's Darth fucks. Like, he just fucks. Like, that's a Darth that does not deny pleasure to his acolytes if they choose. If they choose. And there can be more than one acolyte. There's no rule of two with acolytes. No, we can have an orgy of acolytes that can be great.
So back to Cowabunga. He was
Cowabunga.
I didn't know who. Well, I didn't recognize him until I saw him on some review, and somebody was like, "Oh, that's the same guy who said the Sith had been extinct for 1,000 years."
You just called Cowabunga. I just figured out
Cowabunga.
who you
Oh my God,
Cowabunga was.
Cowabunga.
I was like trying to think like who's Cowabunga, and I was like, oh, Kiani.
Yeah, that's what I said. Cowabunga.
From henceforth, Kiani Mundi will be known as
It's
Cowabunga.
I think that's why I asked you what is the timeline, because folks were like,
well, interestingly enough,
the wrong timeline.
Interestingly enough, he's part of this group of Jedi that are like high-ranking Jedi, but it's not the Jedi Council. So these are all Jedi Knights, I guess, or I'm not sure. They're masters too, but like they're not like on the council,
right?
And even in that one scene, what's her name? Verestra,
the green one.
Yeah, that character, the green one. She says something along the lines of, well, let's not bring this to the council yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could take care of it at our level. So I'm not 100% sure what that Venestra, thank you. Andrew's like on top. Andrew's like a Star Wars.
I know. I need to ask Andrew all my questions.
Yeah, Andrew, if you have questions, you're going to take advantage of Andrew in the audience because they know. Thank you, Andrew. But yes, so Venestra, and Venestra's cool because she's gonna have like a lightsaber whip, which we've never seen, like a whip saber, like
the Ferengi.
Yeah, we've seen it in the other Star.
Oh my God! Please don't give me flashbacks to that shit. Oh God! No, I mean, I still have nightmares about that shit. Don't do that to me. Ugh.
They should give Darth Seggzie that whip. That would. That'd be a whole nother level.
Make it light up.
I thought I was in love with the Jedi in this show, but after this episode, I want it to always be about the dark side. I'm like I never thought I could be turned to the dark side, but this Darth is too much to deal with. I hope they're gonna kill him. They're gonna kill him. I have a feeling.
Dude, you're only being.
I have a feeling Marcel means it. Like, wait, what were you saying?
You're only being driven to the dark side because you're letting your hormones lead you, man. You gotta use your brain.
Lust. It's lust. The lust side, the dark side.
I mean, he's cute. I'm not saying that. But he was before he got all fighty in the forest.
Psychopath.
He was very obnoxious, I thought. Like, I didn't like him.
Andrew agrees. Everyone's thirsting for him. Everyone. That's everyone. Period. T. Dot.
Circle dot.
Circle dot.
A circle dot. No, yeah. But seriously, I'm glad that you guys find some weight in my fear going, everyone's gonna have to bite it, because I cannot see another way for this series to end.
Yeah, I do think you're right. Unfortunately.
But then that'll explain why it doesn't go. There will be some kind of explanation for why it doesn't go past a certain level, and Kiani Mundi stays in the Cowabunga.
Cowabunga
stays in the dark.
Yeah.
Cowabunga.
It's wild because, like, not too far from now, like, Qui-Gon Jinn will stand in front of the Jedi Council and say, "Yo, I just witnessed a Sith," and they're all like, "We'd know about it if it was a Sith."
Really?
It is kind of wild when you think about it, right? Oh, look who's here! Our Commodore showed up. What?
What up, nerds?
Commodore! You came to lay claim to your husband?
I've just automatically summoned into any room where he's being discussed.
Cowabunga.
It could be the espresso martini talking. I'm not sure.
It could be.
You haven't seen any episodes of The Acolyte, but you don't care about spoilers.
I have not, and I do not.
It's good.
I'm gonna
That's
watch it just
good.
for Manny. I don't give a damn. Like,
I don't give a damn. I don't
He's
give a
not
damn.
going to be in it a lot, but he's worth it.
I worship at the altar of. Yeah, it's all good.
It's really good. Like I said,
I too am being lured to the dark side.
the dark side is getting really crowded.
Though that bridge may have been crossed a long time ago.
The dark side's getting really crowded.
They need some new furnishings in their waiting room. It's getting really crowded.
Yeah.
Marcelo, what dark side wielding character would you turn to the dark side for?
Oh, good question.
Nobody, because in Star Wars, I've always been on the side of I've never been attracted to the dark side. I've always.
Who are the female? Sorry about the presumption, but if I'm not mistaken, you're attracted to females only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, who are the female dark side wielders in Star Wars?
That's a good idea.
That's a good question.
Good question.
Let's see who can turn you. Because for me, this is the only one. It's Darth Manny, or whatever you want to call it.
Darth Manny.
Yeah. I'm old.
Wait a minute. Who is that witch lady in The Mandalorian who had the veiny forehead? I mean, not the Mandalorian. In Ahsoka, who had the veiny forehead. Who is that woman? That witch woman?
Elsbeth?
Yeah, Elizabeth. Well, here's a fun fact about me, since we're on After Dark. I like older women, so that veiny older milfy witchy lady, like yeah.
Is she a dark side though? Is she a Sith? She's a witch. You're into witches, bro.
She's a witch.
She's gonna turn you into a warlock. Her baby warlock.
That'd be cool. So yeah, fun fact about me: I'm into older women. So yeah.
Oh, very cool. Like Michelle Pfeiffer's on the.
No, like when I realized that I was attracted to older women, Gillian Anderson made me realize that.
Oh.
Gillian Anderson.
Oh, Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm like, oof, that's not fair. Yeah. So, and I adore redheads, so I'm attracted to redheads too.
Oh, interesting.
I adore redheads.
Note to self:
keep
her away from Marcelo.
Yeah.
So you're disappointed that were you disappointed that Beverly Crusher no longer dons the red hair?
But you know what? She wears the gray very well.
She does.
Very well.
We got it back to Star Trek. Did you see that? It
I know. We can't help it.
That's so crazy.
We can't help it. We're Trekkers. We're Trekkers.
I tried. We did good for like an hour and 28 minutes.
Also,
we talked a lot about Star Wars.
And also, give me a girl. Give me an older woman with some red hair and an accent, and I'm just mud. Like, just do that, and I'll just turn to pudding.
Okay. Our text message audience wants to know what you think of Jessica Tandy.
Is
she like? Is she an older woman that you would date?
Jessica Tandy?
Or how about Lucille Ball?
Well, he said he's into older women. He's not a necrophilia.
Right, like this is a different.
We're still. I guess
a different thing.
Marcelo, without getting into your personal preferences too deeply, at the ages that you prefer, those women at those ages, when they were alive,
Lucille Ball.
Would you have dated Jessica Tandy or Lucille Ball? Neither.
Maybe Lucille Ball.
So
But
that would have been
not-
during how much older? Because you're young. I forget
Yeah,
your age, but
I'm
you're a
30.
whippersnapper.
I'm 36.
Oh, okay.
Lucille
So
Ball.
You're how old?
Lucille Ball. I'm 36.
36. So
Yeah.
So what is older for you? Again.
just like a range. You could give a range, like 10
Yeah.
years older,
No,
20 years older,
40, 50, somewhere
40
around there.
years, 50 years older.
Yeah, like I love
40 or 50,
I love,
not 50 years older.
no,
He's not looking for an 86-year-old.
So like between 45 to 50. It's like
Sure.
So yeah,
I think we figured out why Sohail's career as a matchmaker never took off. He's like, so what age range are you looking for? Like 40, 50. He's like, okay, 40, 50 plus years. Got it.
That's why.
Not what he said.
Yeah.
Poor man up with his own grandmother.
Again, Lucille Ball, probably. The other woman that you mentioned, I just forgot her name. Probably not.
Fair enough.
Probably.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't make my mouse come back to the mute button. I was gonna blow my nose, but I was like, I want to hear what everyone's saying.
Then I have an obnoxious question.
Go.
I'll make it show. So since Lucille Ball is Marcelo's, like, yes, I would date her back then.
Yeah.
Joanne, who is your like mid 1900s crush? Because Lucille Ball was, what, 50s, 60s?
Yeah.
1950s, 60s, super popular. So who was your? Mine we've talked about exhaustively on the salon. Ricardo Montalban.
Ricardo Montalban is a good one.
It's a good pick.
Probably. That's a great question. I don't know.
Repeat the question for the
since
that was blowing your nose.
Since Marcelo was talking about Lucille Ball and being vulnerable and sharing his attraction to her to all of us, I was like, what in like the 40s or 1940s, 1950s, who would be your crush from that time period? Because I was like, his is Lucille Ball, mine's Ricardo Montalban. Who are yours?
From that time period?
Yeah. So like, who was big in that time frame that might have been?
Pete from the Monkees.
I was just like, does Fred Astaire count?
Is that the right time period? Is that the right time?
It's a little bit late, but we'll take it.
It's a little late.
Right. The rules are very loosey-goosey tonight. I'm not trying to...
Okay.
I'm still...
Better they ever not.
Also, I am, and this is totally up. This is just paint by numbers. I do like Dirty Blondes as well. So with that being said, I have to go like Marilyn too. Marilyn Monroe would be cool.
That's enough.
Yeah, but that's Marilyn,
Fantasy Island. Ricardo Montalban was pretty hot.
Ricardo Montalban from like 20 until death is hot. Like that. Like I'm not going to talk about any he was just in any time period, any like no matter how bad that wig was during Wrath of Khan, like he's just
from Wrath of Khan to Fantasy Island.
I would turn to the other dark side for Marilyn Monroe. I would do it. I'd be like, yeah, one night with my lady Marilyn. That's good.
Her former house out here was for sale not that long ago.
Oh wow! In the Palm Springs.
I kind of
Springs.
But I didn't.
Joanne, who was yours?
I got another woman.
We should have compiled this list for Marcelo.
I know.
Oh my god! I gotta try to share this.
So Gina Kelly from Rear Window.
Gina Kelly.
Can
you pull her up on our? Let me see if I can find her.
Yeah, she's right here.
I'm like, I don't know her.
Rear window.
Our text message audience said if I can share this. Let me see if I'm able to do this.
Gene Kelly, or I think it's Gina Kelly.
Without sharing. Hold on, I gotta do something. Open in an app. There we go. Now it'll work.
Yeah.
Avengers Diana Rigg could have changed my life, says Art in the comments. Diana Rigg was a badass.
Gene Kelly.
Wait, did I miss Joanne's again? Did Joanne say hers?
Yeah.
Putting you on the spot. Look at Ricardo Montalban. Oh my gosh.
Come on.
What's happening over here?
We're talking about crushes. I gotta start it on this path.
He could have been a Sith Lord for sure. What? Look at that.
Can
Can you see him with a cape? He's got the guns and something else, headlights. I'm not sure what that is. Attack helicopters. I didn't even notice until you said that.
Oh my god!
Someone else in that photo?
I thought there was a building there, and then you're like, "Oh my gosh, there's a person there." What?
There's another person there.
Oh,
Joanne, that's just his penis. I understand your confusion.
I know. I was stigmatized.
Same.
Uncle Art says, Avengers Diana Rigg could have changed my life. Diana Rigg was, yes, Lady Diana
Rigg. Wait. I got one other girl. Damn it.
Wait, we haven't shared your girls. I gotta share one of your girls.
I got one more. I got Barbara Brain as well.
Barbara who?
Barbara Brain.
Let me see if I can find brain like a brain.
Like a brain?
No, Bane. Barbara Bane. From Mission Impossible, from the original TV series. Yeah, you know who.
He's someone who.
I know.
Who? Let's see.
Oh yeah, Cinnamon Carter. Oh yes, please. Woo!
All right, I think I have a picture
She's
here.
A redhead. She is 92
right now. Yeah.
No, but you're talking about like from back in the day.
Yeah, no.
Back in the day.
Look at her from her Mission Impossible days.
I'm looking. She's gorgeous.
She's stunning.
Yeah.
All right, I got a picture up. Hold on, let me see if I can.
Wait, wasn't she in Space 1999 also?
She was.
I have yet to watch that show.
She was actually.
Everyone keeps telling me to watch it.
She's actually in a documentary as well about that.
So could you see her as a Sith Lord? I could see it. She could totally be a Sith Lord.
Yeah, change your hair a little bit. Get a little.
No, just like this. I want to see a Sith Lord with like red lips, just like her, Barbara Bane, like in this picture. But
honestly, Barbara Bane with 7 of 9's hair from Voyager's haircut, like the French twists, like the kind of it's tight but feminine, like it's not like just a bun or a it would work.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah,
just
flinging people out of her way whenever she's annoyed. Yeah.
Technically, I have a question for you guys. Just like a couple of general Star Wars questions. So, like, technically, like Joanne, you know who Darth Plagueis is, right? Like, when I say Darth Plagueis, do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that the one with the double-edged thing?
So, from the movie's perspectives, in Star Wars. Was it in Revenge of the Sith or was it in the Clone Wars? But anyways, the Emperor, remember when he's at the opera with the like big gigantic floating water globe
that's in episode 3.
So yeah, Revenge of the Sith. So in Revenge of the Sith, like there's a scene where he's talking to Anakin and they're at the opera and it's like this gigantic like egg being fertilized basically is what's happening.
About Darth
and he tells him the story of Darth. He goes, the dark side of the Force leads to many abilities that the Jedi deemed to be unnatural or whatever, right? Like
you are 20. Yeah.
declare
the dark side of the force. The dark side of the force is a pathway to abilities that some would say are unnatural.
Natural.
Yeah, like whatever. He tells like Anakin
Yes.
that, and he's like basically like, like he basically admits that his master, called Darth Plagueis the Wise, had figured out through the Force how to like use the midichlorians to create life, implying that that's what Anakin was. Because remember, he was like a fatherless birth. Like Shmi says, there was no father. What? So Darth Plagueis may have actually used the Force in some manner to somehow either advertently or inadvertently impregnated Shmi Skywalker, which is interesting because that's how the twins in the Acolyte.
That's how the twins are born.
Shmi.
Are born as well.
Or at least we assume.
Which is something the witches were doing, which is something that this master, please sit on my face.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
I cannot do. All right. Okay.
But anyways, he knows about it too, and he knows how to heal. I don't know. There's such an interesting series, but whatever. I lost my train of thought.
I was like, there was a question in there.
I keep drowning. I keep drowning somewhere. I keep drowning in the Darth. I drowned in the Darth. Sorry. That was someone else.
Get armnotized. Bicepnotized.
So I've never seen The Good Place. Is it a good show?
You've never watched The Good Place?
Only one that like the first episode. And I meant to go back to it, but it was like there's a lot of Star Trek.
You need to just stop everything and watch it and just binge it.
That is a great show.
Is it really?
It's a really good show.
It's first of all, it's the first sitcom. Like, I mean, when you think of sitcoms, you think of like live audience kind of sitcom, but like there's no live audience, but it's the first sitcom, in my opinion, that kind of ran it. Sitcoms don't normally tell a story from like beginning to end and then just decide to end their story. That's not normally how a sitcom works.
Mm-hmm.
The Good Place did that. They did their 4 years. They told the story that they wanted to tell. The characters grew. The characters changed. The characters became endeared to the audience. And then like when their story was finished, they were done. And it bookends beautifully from beginning to end. It is one of like, well, I don't know. That's not true. I cry at the drop of a hat, but I don't. I really do. But like was like, significantly like dramatically impacted by the end of that show. Like the ending is so beautiful that I like try to make other people watch it and then let me watch the finale with them. Like I did this. My husband watched it and I watched the whole thing with him. After I had binged it, I got my mom to watch it. I'm just cool. Like anybody that will listen and do it, watch it. I fucking love that show.
I'm down. So it's only 4 seasons you said?
Yeah, it's 4 seasons and 30-minute episodes. And when you get to the finale, let me know and we'll watch it together online.
Okay, I'm down. That's awesome. Going back to Star Wars for a second, Andrew pointed out the full story is that Darth Plagueis was. This is from the book. I'm assuming about Darth Plagueis, which I'm not sure if it's. There's some books that are canon, some are legends. I don't know. I'm a little rusty on all that stuff, but the full story is Plagueis was messing with the midichlorians, and the will of the Force literally blocked him and created Anakin. I like that a lot because it does show that there was an intention, or Anakin had like a purity to him, and it was somehow corrupted by the dogma of the Jedi, ironically, and he then drifted to the dark side because the Jedi couldn't hold on to this like beautiful Messiah that they had right in their midst. They were like suspicious of him, and like, it's kind of weird. Like George Lucas is really good at like having all these like mythological and kind of religious, modern religious like themes like woven in throughout his series. But he's good at that stuff. He was a student of Joseph Campbell's, so I feel like that shows.
As much as I am thankful to George Lucas for Star Wars, I really wish that he would have created some more stuff. But Like, I really wish that he would still be directing stuff, but unfortunately, or making stuff, not directing stuff, but making stuff. I think would be really cool. But he's sort of like disillusioned with Hollywood these days.
I mean, based on what I've seen, George Lucas is kind of like just enjoying his retirement, and he's starting to have a little more say. I think that I haven't caught up with it yet. I haven't seen the actual videos, but he's made some commentary about the recent films and like the recent projects. I feel like he's got some things to say about it. I have to go and like kind of like watch that, but he has every right to. It's kind of interesting. It's like Star Trek and Gene Roddenberry. When Gene Roddenberry was alive, like there was a lot of like pushback against like what he wanted versus like what the producers of the show of the time wanted as well, and so there was like a balance, if you will.
Yeah, but are you talking about Gene in the original series or Gene in
no,
TNG?
the original series is all, it's kind of a parallel story because like just like the original Star, like George Lucas, I did see that video where he's like the first six movies are all me. That's my vision. Sorry, terrible George Lucas impression. I apologize, but like that's really bad. But he basically is saying like the first 6 films are 100% his vision, and that's what you should always like kind of go to when you're confused about what his vision is. He's not like saying there's a handbook out there. He's just saying like just go watch those 6 movies if you're ever confused, and whatever you're confused about will solve itself, or you'll reject whatever you're trying to, like, and that's what's happening basically. It's like he's right. And it's just like Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek the original series arguably is his quote unquote baby or vision. Like that was his he was the most involved in the direct making of that, and so every other Star Trek after that is a spin-off.
I would say I would agree with you and say that Gene Roddenberry was in his heyday with Star Trek the original series. Like Star Trek the original series is his. It's like it's essentially run, well, not counting the behind the scenes rigmarole, but he was most involved with that series, like you said. And TNG and all the other Star Trek that came after, Gene was sort of like almost as little like a sad afterthought to everybody, which is unfortunate.
I think Gene Roddenberry's like TNG is very much what he would like Star Trek. Like he kind of like settled on what Star Trek would look like next. Like that was his kind of like, especially if you like kind of. Season 1, I feel like is heavily influenced by Gene It's very strong Gene Roddenberry, like let's update Star Trek vibes. Like like sex planets and like like, it's great. It's like very comfortable large bridges, things like that. But interestingly, so yeah, I feel like George Lucas, he's getting older. I mean, I don't like knock on wood, like let's keep him around for longer. He's got a beautiful museum he's working on. He has a lot of stories still to tell. He could also still make movies. I believe he might still be working on. My understanding is he does still make films, but only for his friends. He doesn't show them to the public. They're just films that he makes to show. I know. Come on, Mr.
They don't count.
I know you're watching this podcast. There's like 50 people. I don't know where these people are, but there's 50 people. 50 viewers.
Those 50 viewers came from my sexual preferences. Thank you, 50 viewers.
Jillian Anderson fan club.
Wow. Yeah, Jillian Anderson is in your DMs right now.
Art in the audience is reminding us that Gene Roddenberry was in charge of the first 3 seasons of TOS. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. 3 seasons of TOS, 3 seasons of TNG. That's like poetry.
And sacrilege in the Trek world, but I'm just gonna say it. It's kind of why seasons 1 and 2 were so disjointed and felt
awful.
all over the place because he's a brilliant creator. Apparently he wasn't a great showrunner.
No, but also, I really like what you said there, because that's a brilliant point. There are brilliant storytellers who have brilliant minds, but for some reason, as he left too, they can't wrangle everybody. Yeah, just
right.
two of us. They can't wrangle everybody, and it's just really unfortunate, because also at that time I think he was dealing with health issues.
Yeah,
it's really unfortunate that he didn't get checked, or somebody told him, "Hey, I think you should really get looked at." I don't understand, because DC Fontana told the story. I think in the documentary Chaos on the Bridge, that they were in a meeting one day and Gene had like a heart attack and he turned halfway and he bumped against the wall. And I'm like, how could somebody not help this man? Like, seriously, you're going to watch this guy deteriorate in front of your eyes and not do anything? Like, seriously? But
yeah,
I don't know.
You don't always know what's going on as a people respond to heart attacks differently, and like sometimes the person having the heart attack will downplay it or say it's not what they might not even realize what's happening. Yeah, like so they might just be like, "Oh, it's indigestion. Don't worry. Like I'm fine." Like there's all kinds of things. Like it's weird. I'm like super conscious of it now, but I'm like sometimes like my heart rate goes up, and I'm like, am I having a heart attack? And then it's just like I'll breathe a little bit, and then it like calms down. I'm like, okay, I'm not. But it's one of my greatest like.
Yeah, but I am.
I hope I don't have one on a broadcast. Like, that would be like the worst thing ever.
The other thing about the other thing about Gene that I have an issue with as a writer myself, I don't like the fact that he kind of like would ask people to write scripts for him, and then he would take it and then he would like rewrite 95% about it and say, "Oh, this whole thing was my idea," when that wasn't the case. I'm like, really? Like, there's this thing called arbitration, Gene. You can't steal everything I do. Like, I don't like I again, I wasn't there. I don't know. But what I've heard from the way that he operates and the way that he treated some people that he worked with, I was like, I don't know if that's necessarily a good boss or not.
Yeah, it feels like
they're like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It feels like Gene was clearly a creative genius and
it was,
and an incredibly humanistic person and complicated individual, sure, and who had his vices like anyone else, but he seemed to function best based on the product when there were some constraints. Because like you think about like how brilliant a lot of what was created with Next Gen was, but also someone had to grab him and say, Deanna Troi can't have 3 breasts, because he wanted her to have 3 breasts. Like that was part of the original concept of the character, that she and it's like you can't do that. So he seemed to be at his.
There's an alternate timeline
where someone was saying no.
There's an alternate timeline where there's a Star Trek TNG with Deanna Troi with 3 breasts, like 100%, and she still is beloved.
Right, Maislich, the lawyer, apparently was awful.
And in that alternate universe, like women are getting like an extra breast added as like a fashion, like as like
and I do think
100%
I do think to your point, that gentleman that was able to wrangle Gene's creative fire and able to give him constraints as was Rick Berman, and I think to some extent, and I think Rick Berman was able to adhere to Gene's vision as close as he could when Gene wasn't around anymore, wasn't able to be around anymore in the later.
I think Gene Roddenberry personally would like all of the Star Trek that we've got currently.
Yeah, you know what? I think
he would like Discovery more than he might like.
Really?
Deep Space Nine or
I don't know about that.
Or Voyager. If I'm gonna interpret Gene's vision, because everyone's allowed to interpret Gene's vision however they want. Yeah, I'd
Apparently,
be like,
we're all allowed to not only interpret it, but to tell other people when they're wrong.
yeah, when they're wrong.
You're wrong.
Here's what my interpretation of Gene's vision.
Yes.
See,
Yeah, no,
that's the thing. Star Wars doesn't have that. Star Wars has George Lucas's vision still accessible, and unprecedentedly so as well. Like, we didn't have, like, growing up, like, you heard about what Gene Roddenberry may have thought about a film, but it evolved because, like, originally I feel like he was either paid or there was an interest for him to, like, praise these things. So I would always see, like, yeah, Gene Roddenberry likes it, whatever, like that kind of soundbite or whatever. And then you would see an article that, like, well, actually Gene Roddenberry hated this or whatever, and you're like, what? So there's, like, a lot of interesting things that play out. But with George Lucas, yeah, there's, like, a lot of he's been very careful about what he says, but apparently there's information out there. He's released his thoughts on all this new Star Wars. So I haven't looked into it yet. I don't know. Have you guys seen any of his videos?
Yeah.
You have.
And he's not,
what's your impression overall? Like, what can you like say?
He just seems very, very dissatisfied with the way that the Hollywood overall machine has sort of interpreted the thing that he gave away. To me, he seems very bitter as someone who kind of gave his crown jewel away, and now he's upset with the way that the organization is handling some of his, the franchise that was essentially his. I think that he's just a little bit bitter, which is okay, I guess. But he sold it, so.
Well, I can't wait to dive in and hear those myself. But I imagine, like, yeah, I don't know why Rick Berman, why George Lucas ever gave up Star Wars to begin with. I feel like he was doing a pretty good job with it. But I understand also, like, where he was just like, oh, maybe I could just, like, fund my museum, which is what he's been doing with all the billions that he's made. So, like, there's, like, a different, there's, like, what you've created and it's doing really well. It's a cultural icon. What more can you do with it? Let's give it to the public. Essentially, selling it to Disney is like giving your vision to, like, the public trust, because Disney still, like them or hate them, Disney represents a huge amount of cultural cultural IP. Is that a good way of, like, maybe describing it?
It's the best way to turn your vision into a theme park without actually having to build a theme park.
There you go.
Which they've also built a Star Wars theme, which I love, by the way. Have you all been to the Star Wars theme parks near you? I don't know if there's one.
I mean, I've been to Galaxy's Edge in Orlando and in California.
If any of you guys ever come to Disney World in Florida, let me know in advance, because I will meet you. It's very easy to meet you.
I was there for Christmas. You didn't.
Oh, I didn't know you were here. I would have taken the train. Now you can take a train. It's so easy. It's so easy. They've made it easy for us.
Yeah, I mean, I like when
you can take a train to Disney, but you can't take a cab to get an abortion. Sorry, Florida. Anyway.
Oh my God,
that's true. There's no lies detected. God,
why is that so funny? I'm sorry.
That's awful and true.
I don't know why.
It's okay if the
I didn't mean to get political, but fuck Ron DeSantis.
There's no reason. I'm actually broadcasting from Starfleet Academy in the future. I'm not in Florida. Who would ever think? No, but yeah, there's awful things happening. We have to just be vigilant. I don't know what to say about real life. That's why we're here. We're just kind of.
I didn't mean to snap us out of the.
I know.
No, it's okay.
We're in the fantasy.
Okay.
We're in the fantasy.
I didn't tell you. I don't know if you were here from the beginning, but I am crossed and faded, and crossed.
Congrats.
Well,
Sorry, Marcelo.
when Galaxy's Edge came out for the first time, I had it in my head. God damn it! Why can't there be a Star Trek land? I need a Star Trek land. Like, I need one right now.
Isn't there one in Germany? Isn't there a Trek themed theme park in
I think there is one in Germany.
Yeah.
I just want to say sidebar real quick to just say that like art is out of control. Imagine if Disney bought Paramount, we would soon get a Trek and Wars crossover with Doctor Who. No.
No way.
No.
Then the X-Men would be there just for kicks.
No.
No.
Why can't you leave our beloved IPs alone?
Also,
Who was that guy that cried for Brittany? Was it Brittany that was like the first?
Leave her alone.
Leave her alone. But he got super famous and then he became a porn star, which is what happens to everyone who becomes super famous. But what I don't know, from the internet.
No, the other
one day I will also.
The other thing that I was thinking.
You and Darth Seggzie.
With Paramount Plus having so much difficulties right now and not knowing where they're going to be in a year, I was thinking if whoever ends up buying the company, if they sell it off for parts, what if Star Trek went as an IP, the whole thing went to Apple? Imagine that. Imagine for a single second the money that they could put behind that thing. And you know who works for Apple, don't you? Ron D. Moore.
And For All Mankind actually becomes a prequel to Star Trek.
Huh! Holy crap! There you go. That's it. Bing!
I actually am not. I'm not opposed to that idea. Like, I think that's actually not a bad idea. I feel very attached to like Star Trek, being like a Paramount thing, but Apple makes damn good shows in my opinion. So like I'm down for Apple to own the Star Trek to carry it to the next level, wherever they carry it next. I'd be down for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about we're done talking about Star Wars and the Acolyte. I have a few questions about Star Trek. What do you guys think should happen for Lower Decks? Like what's going on? Like I haven't heard anything about their future.
I need a movie.
What is this Jedi Council? What does this Jedi Council say about Lower Decks' future?
They need a movie.
I love Lower Decks, but I agree. They need a movie. They need a movie. After this final season, which wasn't planned to be the final season, they deserve a movie.
How do we get them to a movie? Like,
for time at Lower Decks,
what do we have to do?
Yeah.
What do we do to get them to a movie?
He had to put it back.
I think what Paramount has to do, or whoever is in charge of Paramount when Lower Decks comes out, is they have to look at the response of season 5, and they have to look at the overall love for Lower Decks as a Star Trek spinoff, and they have to give Mike McMahon a chance to end the story properly, because he didn't get a chance. He got his legs taken out from under him. That's not fair. That's some bullshit. So he deserves a chance to finish his. He deserves a chance to finish off the story the way that he wants.
There's two things that I want you guys to like give me your opinions on. First, Andrew Verdna in the audience says, "LOL, when are we getting Jetsons and Flintstones live action?" We already have Flintstones live action.
Yes, we do,
Andrew, but we don't have Jetsons live action, right?
Jetsons will be cool with today's technology.
Yeah,
that'll be really cool.
Did you just go off camera to sneeze?
Yep.
And we thank you. We thank you.
Thank you. You could have done the shirt technique though, into the shirt, which is fine because you're just poisoning yourself.
I think either there's like Jedi warlocks cursing me because I'm in love with Darth choke me.
Stop it already.
And push me against the wall.
What is the
Older
character's
women
name?
don't want you snotting in your shirt.
He doesn't have it.
I will write that down. Look, I'll put that on my phone right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Darth plug my nose while I sneeze. That's what his name is.
No snotting.
That's what the character's name is. Hold on. Speaking of which, I have to go blow my nose again. I got so much phlegm. It's so great.
What is going on?
Yeah, no, but so what are you guys looking forward to with the final season of Lower Decks coming up at some point this year, hopefully.
I also want movie. I know it was mentioned in the chat. I want movies. I think after season 5, we can still bring them back to just do some lower decks movies. Yeah, and then my dream that will probably never happen, but that the last time we see them, the camera slowly transitions and they all morph from animated to live action, and like in the last scene. So we get to see them all in their as their live action selves, and then
I feel you, but I think they should always stay animated. Personally, I don't want them to ever be, except for an occasional crossover. No, I'm saying in those situations I would love to see them, but I wish we saw them in Picard. It would have been amazing to see like Tendi or someone in Picard, because they would have been around, right? That's like a time period where they would have been around.
They would have been around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would have been so weird. It would have been so weird to see Boimler in a show like Picard. Really? No.
I don't know, because how old would Boimler be in Picard? Where's the timeline when you need it?
He'd probably be a commander or a lieutenant commander by then. It's what, 10 years away from Lower Decks? Or no, it's further, isn't it? Because Prodigy's
it's more than 10, isn't it?
Yeah, Prodigy's in there. So yeah, he could be a commander or even a captain by then.
Art is reminding us that Monday is Prodigy. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Woo! Oh,
I did not get advanced telemetry on this one. So I'm excited.
I was just like, have you seen it? Oh, okay.
No, I have not. I have not. I'm very excited.
By the way, fun fact, guys, for those of you who are saying Prodigy season 1 is on Netflix, I will give you this because I ran into this. A friend of mine said that, oh, you could watch Prodigy on Netflix. So I went on Netflix. No Prodigy. I'm like, the hell is he smoking? And I discovered this. Prodigy is available on Netflix, but Prodigy is not available on Netflix in New York. It's available on Netflix in other states, of which one is Texas. So if you have a VPN, you can watch Star Trek Prodigy season 1 right now on Netflix.
It's weird to me that New York has a different Netflix, but it also makes sense in a weird way.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
I don't know. Maybe like HBO owns. I don't know.
It's also on Prime. I have it on Prime. Well, I bought the season on Prime.
Are they worried about everyone at the UN streaming things before they're supposed to see it? That makes no sense.
I have no idea what's going on there, but whatever.
Yeah, but is season 1 available? Is season 1 of Prodigy?
It's on my Netflix. No problem. I don't have any VPN nonsense going on my computer, Marcelo. No.
Hopefully,
intended.
Yeah. Hopefully, you bought the season by now. Yeah. I have not done that yet.
I have everything that you can get on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, you do. You have the season already. Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Do you have?
I just want to have it because I got really scared when Paramount just like dissed Prodigy. Like was like, oh, sorry. Hi. Not only are we not going to make any more Prodigy after season 2, but it's also not available on Paramount Plus anymore.
Yeah.
And so actually, thank you, Netflix. If you're the entity and the individuals at Netflix, whoever is responsible for scooping up Star Trek Prodigy and giving it a shot of distribution, thank you very much. I have a feeling we're going to come through us Trekkies, we're like a good, hearty bunch.
Do you have?
We like to support things that feel like Star Trek, and that shit feels like Star Trek. So
Do you have all of Star Trek on physical media, like all of it?
I have everything
everything.
that has been on screen that is considered canon. Yeah, so yeah, I do have it all.
That's cool.
I was like, wait, do I?
What non-canonical Star Trek things do you not
better.
Oh no, Marcelo! I only have the first 3 seasons of Voyager on DVD, and it's not even Blu-ray.
DVD.
And
wow.
DS9,
The
I
whole
only have
series.
on Blu-ray. I mean, sorry, I only have on DVD because actually, Marcelo, you can't get Deep Space Nine or Voyager on Blu-ray, and you know why?
I know.
Marcelo,
I know.
because they've not
I know.
invested.
Those
These are
those-
cultural institutions. Star Trek's not just like a
those-
show anymore.
those
It's like
those cheap bastards. They won't.
They won't do it. But all they have to do is remaster, and now technology's increased, and like remastering is done so much better.
I could do that. I could remaster.
People are doing it. People are doing like 5K now or whatever. I don't even know what 5K is. I don't think my eyes can see past 2K, but whatever. It doesn't
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. It deserves whatever upscaling is the current like best, because both Deep Space Nine and Voyager are cultural institutions just like TNG. There's like a ton of people who have gone into scientific fields, legislative, admin fields because of these shows, because they're like they of their time they did what we're doing right now, where we're talking about Star Wars and Star Trek and applying it to like current times. Like that conversation was also happening in a different format when these shows were airing, and so I think it's pretty cool, and they deserve to be remastered. So yeah,
damn it,
I don't know.
And
who's
who's
gonna hear this message? But damn it!
And
what do you think, Joanne? Don't you think do you agree or disagree?
I do agree with. They are cultural icons. Is that what you're asking?
Thank you. Yes, that is what I was asking. Thank you.
Good answer.
And also, since we're on the subject of owning Star Trek, I actually have everything. I have actually every movie and every series of Star Trek, except Prodigy, because I haven't got that yet, on digital by Apple. So yeah, but
I have another complaint about modern everything.
Okay, let's hear it.
Joanne put something down, like her phone or something. Like, okay, let's hear this complaint.
Let's hear it.
Why can't we just have a minimum of at least 10 episodes? Why is it like 6 or 8 episode seasons? Like,
I agree. I don't like this.
Or can we agree on 15? Like 15 should be the baseline for
13.
every
13.
13. Okay, 13. Whatever.
What was season 1 of Disco? Because that felt perfect.
Yeah, it did feel. That felt like
they were 13. I think.
Was it 13 or 14?
More. I think it went to 15.
Or was that 15?
16?
Wow! If only we had access to the Sum of Human
Somebody
Knowledge.
look it up.
The point of After Dark is you're not supposed to look anything up, and you're supposed to drink or whatever,
hogwash,
or be tired, or drink coffee, whatever. Like just be here. I saw.
It was 15 episodes.
15.
Yeah.
So yeah, 15 is good because you can cover everything.
I also didn't mind the little like mid-season break that they did. I mean, it wasn't long. It was only like a month. They did the first half, and they took like a month off, and then aired the second half. That's fine.
Oh yeah, they did.
That was nice. They did do that.
I didn't remember
that. Prodigy did the same thing. We got 10 episodes, and then we got 10 episodes like after a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was good.
But I don't like the small seasons either. I hate 6-episode seasons.
Like
and
this
look,
Doctor Who felt like not great because they crushed everything into like just 8 episodes or whatever it was. Yeah.
Boo. But you know what?
Only 8 episodes.
Boo.
And we're back. Is the Acolyte 8? Is Acolyte 8 episodes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
That's it. And I'm so upset because Darth, more than 8 episodes, please. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I have Darth?
No, I'm thinking of him at the number 8 just makes me very happy. According to, so I haven't watched it yet. So if I'm saying something stupid, but like, is he just called the Stranger?
Yes, he's
Yeah, for now he's a stranger. Yeah.
Okay, but we're assuming he'll have a name. Okay, all right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But I love British TV because Doctor Who, obviously. But when I watched Sherlock for the first time, I was like, "What the hell is this? 3 episodes a season? What in the name of hell is this? How dare they?" But then I realized then I realized that basically every episode of Sherlock is like a mini movie. I was like, okay, I get it.
I haven't seen that.
To be fair, they're like an hour and a half. So
Yeah, no,
those
they're
3
movies.
episodes are you can kind of say you get like
They-
at least 7
They're
or 8
movies.
standard
Yeah.
episodes
Yeah, no.
in terms of
they're movies.
time, in terms of total time or whatever. But yeah, just like I get it. It's like I don't know, like people are calling it filler episodes, but I don't mind. Yeah, you could give me a few interesting, like quirky episodes that don't have anything to do with like the main plot, and kind of like explore other aspects of the universe or build the world or whatever.
Right.
Let's have more of that. Like, you just need a
Mhm.
break sometimes. Sometimes like that, my heart's racing like every week, and then my anxiety like when I don't know what's gonna happen next. Like, come on, guys! Like, we need a break. We need just like.
That's the thing
more
that I
episodes.
miss. I like serialized storytelling, which is probably why DS9 is my favorite Trek series. But I like serialized storytelling, but you do miss out on the Data's Day type of episodes where it's like, oh, we're just going to show you a day in the life of the Enterprise, or we're just going to show you a day in the life of these characters. You don't really get that in those kinds of stories, and that drives me nuts. I miss those.
Yeah, I mean, one reason why I love the early seasons of Enterprise so much is especially the first 2 seasons, because you have episodes like Stand By, and yeah, I mean, everybody hates this episode, but I just like it. You got a night in sick bay. Everybody hates that episode, but I think it's funny.
I'll take a Porthos episode over any number of Enterprise plots.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down for a Porthos episode.
Yeah,
he was more interesting than most of the characters.
Is that the dog?
No,
yes.
Yeah.
I've only seen like half of season 1, so
I mean, look, no lie, I love Enterprise, and this guy down here will tell you how much I love Enterprise. I adore Enterprise, but I get it. This guy down here, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Marcel, sorry, who's down here?
Who's down here?
I'm
like down here, because we're on the bottom row. So
does he tell? I'm like, hold up. Does he tell stories? Like,
are you trying to point to me? Are you trying to? Is it
He's
like
pointing to his
this guy? No, what's that guy? There's no one there either, Marcella.
That guy down there tells stories. Does he have his own channel?
No, not this guy. This guy's asleep. It's that guy down
I don't know who you're talking about. That guy over there.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
this one,
gals, non-binary pals.
Do you think actually this is a good place to end? Because I
think this is a great place to end.
So we talked. Joanne, do you feel a little more?
Thank you for joining the 5 of us.
Right.
Joel, I'm sorry we didn't stay. Joel was trying to make it here to get on the air with us. Sorry to make it, but Joel, I think you're coming to the DS9 discussion tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see Joel tomorrow at 3 p.m. for our DS9 discussion. But Joanne, you have been a pleasure to have on here. I hope you'll come back. It's been really nice. Thank you I know it's late nights for me too. I fall asleep, and that's why these are erratic. Sometimes, sometimes the host falls asleep. It happens. Sorry.
Erratic. Thank you for having me. Popping my After Dark cherry. I appreciate it.
Wow, I appreciate that you know our lingo too. Your After Dark cherry has been popped. I appreciate that. That's very nice. So do you guys have anything you would like to tell folks about, promote, find you, where to follow you? Last thoughts on the Acolyte, especially Trev, you've not seen it yet. Are you gonna watch it now that you've heard us like talk about it like crazy?
I haven't seen it, and I will watch it. I'm significantly behind on all of my Star Wars episodic television, but I will be binging the hell out of it anytime now. Especially now that there's going to be, once we get through Prodigy Season 2, there will be a Trek lull, and so I will fast consume my wars.
That's true. It's a good time to catch up. It's true. I don't know where I think I have a time turner. That's how I find all the time that I do to do what I do. Trev, what have you got to promote? The salon, of course. I know.
Just the salon every Thursday, 6:30 Pacific, at Salon Trek on all the things. And we're off next week, but after that, we're going to be doing 2 episodes. Wow, I'm going to start over with words that make sense. We'll be doing, we'll be covering 2 episodes of Prodigy for 10 weeks, starting not next week, but the week after, with a 1-week pause in the middle when most of us will be in Vegas for the convention.
Right.
Marcella, yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Marcella.
Marcelo and this guy, please.
Wait, I'm gonna put you. Hold on. I'm gonna do something interesting here. Watch. I'm gonna put you here so that you can say like this guy down here.
This guy down here. That's how it should have been. No, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Balloon Head Productions, where I do watch-alongs for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dawson's Creek. I will also start a watch-along for a really, really dear show to me, a 2000 show called Everwood, really, really shortly. And I also do discussions for All Mankind. Yeah. And I also just recently started a Discord channel. So, but to find all my stuff, you just go over to my X profile. I'm at Creek Fanatic 88.
Or you could Google Marcel Inestrosa, and you'll find all the stuff you need to. Joanne, I know I can find you on the salon as a regular. What else have you got going on?
That's it for right now. You can see me at the salon on Thursdays.
Oh my gosh! And now we've got you on here, so
you'll see her causing beautiful havoc in the comments of all the things. She's always in the comments.
I'm always in the comments.
We're not always great at like answering and stuff, but we love audience participation. So thank you, audience. As far as Prodigy is concerned, what we're gonna do and I hope everyone here, as far as you're comfortable, will join along and just kind of create like the biggest kind of wave of buzz we could possibly create. But what I'm gonna do is for every day that I'm going to probably binge the whole season when it comes out personally on day 1 or by day 2 at least. But then I'm going to do a video every day, non-spoilery, just thoughts on each episode, like put it out on the socials. And then Fridays, me and Trek on the Tube, we're going to talk about each episode, which is kind of fun. And that'll be weekly for 20 weeks. So I'm going to try to stretch it out and get Prodigy as much attention as possible. So that's what's going on in Starfleet. So hail. What were you going to say, Marcel?
We have to finish something. We still haven't finished it yet. You know that, right? We're
my God, I'm
missing
being
one.
called out on the air. What am I being?
We
You
forgot
and Sohail, or
something.
you and this guy?
No,
What have
I
we
mean this
not-
guy down here.
Oh, I have not forgotten about Discovery. I'm in my feelings.
We
still.
gotta finish.
I have not discussed the final episode of Star
We
Trek
have
Discovery.
one episode.
Marcel and I have been watching it together and talking about
Yeah.
it this whole season, and it's
We
been
got
a really
one left.
cool season to discuss. We have one left, but I'm still in my feelings, Marcelo. But it's coming soon. Let's just put it
All right.
there. Can we
All right,
put in
coming
the
soon.
coming soon? Like
There we go,
it's
coming
coming
soon
soon. I
category.
promise. Good
That's
call
good.
out though. I appreciate it. You could call me out on that kind of stuff anytime.
Because by now it's like maybe he forgot, but we gotta finish.
No, I haven't forgotten. I've just been in my feelings. All right. Live long and prosper, everybody. And we will see you next time. Thank you.